Ora si registrerà la conferenza.
Okay, good evening everyone and welcome to the Eumans weekly meeting tonight with a super specific focus on the stopglobalwarming.eu initiative and in particular the preparation for what could be our next big move, which is the celebration of the Paris Agreement on the 12th of December. For the people that never joined a meeting before, you might know, I hope, what is Eumans is a growing European movement that helps citizens to activate participatory democracy instruments for goals related to the rule of law, democracy and sustainability. We started to work as a movement 1.5 years ago, but we kind of formalized the movement and the possibility to become a member of Eumans last month. So from now on, we are officially open to membership and more formal ways of participation of European citizens who feel that they can shape European, national and local policies through the activation of participatory democracy. Stopglobalwarming.eu is the European initiative for the carbon pricing in the European Union. We are collecting the signatures that are necessary to officially present this proposal to the European Commission and the European Parliament. And the way how we approach the campaign is on one side, of course, to increase the number of European citizens who are aware of the possibility to sign the European Citizen Initiative as a formal petition to the European Commission. But on the other side, what is even more important is to try and push for the adoption of carbon pricing from a political perspective and to make it real in the decisions of the Commission and the Parliament. Tonight, as it was anticipated in the agenda of the meeting, what we're going to try to do is to discuss together how we can leverage the support that Stop Global Warming is gaining in the last months, particularly from very high-level political supporters that goes from 3 former EU commissioners. We got today the confirmation of the mayor of the city of Frankfurt as one of the supporters of the initiative, who joins other mayors such as the one of Dortmund, Dublin, and a good number of municipalities and regions in Italy who are taking a stand for carbon pricing, but also helping their communities to be informed about this initiative. Among the supporters of the initiative, there is Morgens Lichtoft, who is a very important player in this next step of the campaign, because beside being the former Minister of Finance of Denmark, he was the president of the UN General Assembly, which on the 12th of December 2015 ratified, I'm not sure is the correct term, the Paris Agreement. So it is around his support and figures and strong availability that we are gonna build the next step and the next phase of the campaign. We also have Paolo Petraglia Camassa with us. I'm super happy because Paolo is the deputy mayor of Palermo, the city of Palermo, which was the first European city to officially support stopglobalwarming.eu and committed, and it's through them that we got the support of Dortmund and Frankfurt to promote the importance of Stop Global Warming for local municipalities and regions. So Paolo, welcome, and super happy that you are here with us. I will leave the floor to Marco Cappato to try to introduce us on why the 12th of December is such an important date, and to open up the conversation on how we can best focus toward this deadline to make sure that it is effective, as I said, of course, for increasing the awareness and the number of signatures, but to get closer to the possibility of having an impact in the decision-making process around carbon pricing and its impact on EU policies on a broader scale. So, Marco, if you want to introduce us to the debate tonight.
Thank you very much, Virginia. Hello to everybody. Well, of course, there is no need to underscore what's the importance of the Paris Agreement in setting a goal for the global community, but at the same time, it's clear that it was not enough, that without a kind of mandatory mechanism to respect the commitment and a clear indication on how to achieve the goals set in Paris, those goals could and will probably fail if nothing more is done. And this is why I think that the celebration of the Paris Agreement is exactly the occasion to say that what is missing is exactly the kind of proposal like stopglobalwarming.eu, indicating both how we can facilitate the possibility of achieving the Paris Agreement goals, and at the same time through a mechanism, a binding mechanism for binding for member states. So at which point we are now? We are at the point that we have still a totally insufficient amount of citizens who have signed, and without a miracle or a surprise from big network and organization, it's clear that the trend is far from achieving the 1 million signature results. At the same time, we succeeded in gathering a very qualified panel of people, politicians, personalities, and scientists, and so on, who is giving clout to the proposal. So I think that we should use the 12th of December occasion to underscore the political value of our initiative and try to convey the message at least to decision makers. So mayors are very important, members of parliament are very important, former members of government and institution are very important to have them coming on board to give more strength to our message. Even if this will not translate in masses of people signing the proposal, I mean, life is not stopping on the 21st of January, which is the deadline of our European Citizen Initiative. We will then be able to transform the campaign in a more steady platform to send out the message. But I think that the occasion of the December 12th is very important. I received the availability from David Sassoli, who is the European Parliament president, to participate, to attend to an event that we will organize on that date. But I think it would be important to find a way in which every and each of us in his own town, in her own town, can demonstrate, even if physically is impossible to demonstrate nowadays because of COVID-19, so that I will propose to Mogens Leketov, the former UN General Assembly president, to take a picture of him, of himself alone in the square of his own town, and then this could maybe trigger a mechanism of imitation of the same symbolic act that all of us could perform in his own town to try to send out the message of the urgency to translate the very nice and good principles of the Paris Agreement in concrete measures to achieve those goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. Just to open up the debate and to summarize the steps that we discussed in the other meetings. So the idea so far is to ask Lichtoft and Navi Pillai, which is the former High Commissioner for Human Rights, the United Nations, if I am correct. She is South African, so it's interesting because her support to the campaign shows also that when we talk about carbon pricing, we don't talk only about the European Union, but we talk about a measure that has a global impact to do the same. And the idea is to use this first call from them to call for others to join us on the 12th of December. And through them, we are gonna leverage the municipalities and regions who already supported the initiative and potentially to increase the scale of this type of support. I think what we can discuss tonight is how we can make 12th of December great again. How we can make that date relevant and get the attention that it needs. Who worked on the campaign so far knows that we are really working with no budget, basically, and the effort of a lot of volunteers that, I mean, some volunteers, not a lot, to be honest, some volunteers that they are helping to propagate the message. So I think what we need to come up with is a format, not necessarily of an event or a webinar, but something that can be handled to the media, in my opinion, that's the other element, or that can be propagated on social media in a manner that really draws the attention. So it can be a collection, the timing of the Paris Agreement, Stefania, who is our one of our media people, told us that 7:26 p.m. is the exact time of the deal of the Paris Agreement. So, for example, we can look at that minute to make something happen. We could ask, maybe, I don't know if Paolo can help us to understand how difficult it is to ask, for example, to municipality buildings to, I don't know, display something at the same time, but I think we should try something that is a very simple request to the supporters and that can become a material that is usable by the media, not because we want to I don't know, be slaves of the media, but because we need information on the fact. So I think the goal of tonight is to understand what can be reasonably done with the resources that nowadays we all know we have. We can't imagine stuff that are impossible, but we have exactly 1 month. So let's try and see what is reasonably doable for that day, and a clear request for the supporters, existing and new supporters. And Henri, Hugo, I don't want to call names, but Lorenzo told me that you had some ideas. So maybe we can start with those who already have some ideas.
Okay. So for the 12th of December, so I'm trying to mobilize some French with an influential voice in France. On the Paris Agreement, I think it's to be possible to mobilize some people, because the French are very proud of the Paris Agreement. So I'm already in touch with some start-upper. I'm as well in touch with somebody from Ellen MacArthur Foundation. I am as well in touch, and then I can contact as well once you are sure about the lineup, so I don't know who for sure will join the 12th. There's Morgan for sure.
So far, Morgan's most likely, Flavia Pansieri, who is the other UN High Commissioner, and 99% Navi Pillai, and David Sassoli, which is the President of the European Parliament. And on the other side, just to mention, we have the small group of members of the European Parliament who are investigating the possibility of a parliamentary initiative on carbon pricing that kind of mirror the proposal of the ECI. So another angle is for sure to verify with them if they would be ready for triggering this action around that date. So this will be the other newsworthy element for sure, like 10 members of the European Parliament in support of the initiative activate this procedure on the day of the Paris Agreement. So the ideal scenario has these pillars.
Okay. Otherwise, I was thinking about recontacting I met the French Giulia Innocenzi. We have the French version of Giulia Innocenzi. It's Cyrielle Ariel. I met her last year, so I was thinking to ask her to join as a moderator. And she's very well connected in France. She knows CEOs of sustainable companies. She knows politics. This week she made an interview with what's his name again? He's the leader of the French Green at the European Parliament. His name is
Philippe Lambert.
He's from the Macron party.
Everyone is a leader nowadays.
His name is Pascal Canfin. So she knows a lot of politics. She knows a lot of CEOs. So if I manage to convince her, it would be an asset. And then there's the event we are organizing with the Green Party in UK with Marco Cappato, Monica Frassoni, and Christian Gaulier. After the event, Ken is going to circulate the videos, the information to the French Green Party network in Europe. So of course to French mayors. So now in France we have a lot of French mayors. So hopefully we can convince as well. I don't know, Eric Piolle, Grégory Doucet. Let's see. I think it would be a very strong tool. The webinar we're gonna do to explain what is carbon pricing, because it's quite complex. It's quite complex to understand. So with this video, I think it would be a strong tool to convince people to join the 12th, to sign first the petition, and then to join the 5th anniversary celebration.
Okay, so maybe I can put Marco. Bye.
If you can, if we could put the link to the personalities who have already signed, and then anybody could use, and even the letters to present the campaign. Of course, we should update with the new introducing the purpose of the 12th of December celebration. But then anybody could be in a way autonomous in using the material for his own lobbying.
So in the chat, you have the list of supporters. We're trying to keep it updated. And with regards to the letters, I'm gonna share it here, although these are very generic, whilst early next week, as soon as Lichthoff gives his availability, we're gonna prepare a dedicated letter. So but in the meantime, I'm gonna share the existing one. If internet doesn't betray me. Okay, I'll do it in a sec. Okay, so maybe I can put on the table the concept that we started to work on, so that we can work on that. So the idea is that, so we did the marathon on the 23rd of September, 12 hours, which was good in terms of the type of debate that we had, the level of the participants. However, that format, first of all, we already did it. Secondly, is very difficult to organize and difficult to get the level of attention that it deserves. I mean, it's a very talky type of format where the people that participate, okay, share their views and technical or political perspectives, but the impact that we are looking for, I think also, as Marco said, is more like a bit of a boom somehow. So I think what it's easy to ask to every supporter is, for example, to shoot a 1-minute video that at the same time, they can send us that as beforehand, so that we can prepare it as a package, and probably from a media perspective, having that ready before will be helpful, because on that day we can say these are 100, let's say, people across Europe sharing the same message at the same time. So this is probably a line of action that doesn't require too much effort. Also having people with famous people shooting a 1-minute video is one thing, different from participating in a panel or in a discussion. So I think probably this could be a line of action that is reasonable, that can be done, and maybe that video can be broadcasted from the, let's say, I don't know, the mayor of Palermo and the mayor of Dortmund and Frankfurt at the same date and time, shoot this video on the web, and maybe in the meantime we prepare the crafting for the media so that everything is already collected beforehand. So probably this is the easier type of action that we can put together, and maybe we can build around this the strategy, and to use the leaked of the picture to basically invite others to do something like that. I don't know what you think about the idea, if you think it could work, which are the challenges and limitations. To be honest, I think we need to find something that can happen on multiple channels at the same time, in a similar format, because in the other 2 or 3 days of action that we did, we gave a lot of options to the participant, whilst I think in this case we should be very, very specific and very targeted. And then, of course, depending on the availability of the people in this call and other volunteers, we can come up with other stuff. But in my opinion, it's best to have one thing, one action, one request, and try to make it as strong as possible. Last but not least, now we have a bit of strength in France and in French, a bit of strength in Germany thanks to Adam, and of course Italy, but it's definitely true that we don't have penetration in all EU member states. So that's why the role of regions and municipalities is quite important, because that through the Eurocities network or the network of I mean, each member state has its own sort of network of municipality, network of regions. Probably we can leverage this to scale the request instead of going one by one to the different mayors, to the different regions. So the more simple is the request, the better it can be for the output of the action.
Octavian just sent me the number of the Lieketoft, former president of the UN General Assembly. So I will try to understand with him if he's available to take the picture, and that could to trigger in a way could trigger the mechanism. And so I don't know if there are not comments or suggestions. I think we should come back with you very soon with kind of a package of text, pictures, and so that everybody could use it to try to activate in his own milieu.
Paolo, can you hear me? Paolo Camassa.
Yes, I can.
I have one question that is practical, but you know more than me for sure. How does it work when the buildings of municipality, I don't know, they become, I don't know, rainbow because there is something for LGBT rights, or like, is it complicated to get the buildings
Not at
of
all.
municipality?
Not at all, because for example, in case we want to make it happen in Palermo, first of all, hello everybody. In case we want to make it happen in Palermo, it's very easy because you just need to make a request. We receive the request, we process it, we give our position on what to do, how to do it, and maybe just a very quick call to agree on what to do, and it's done in a few weeks basically. I've done it several times, for example, for other international reasons or local reasons, anniversaries, or we also did it once for the LGBTQ community. I think like two months ago. Anyway, it's very easy procedure, so there's nothing that can stop you doing something like that, by the way.
Okay, very good. That's very important.
Yeah, in case you want to have in case you want to have some more specifics and details, I can provide you with everything. But once again, just make the request to local municipalities, and they will process them. It's very easy.
So it needs to come from the citizens usually, right? So it should be someone in the city, or like because, for example, thanks to the outreach that you did, we got the support from Dortmund and Frankfurt to the ACI. So I was wondering if maybe once we finalize the concept, we could try to work on a new outreach, very specific. And if you and Luca Orlando will be available, maybe together with these other two mayors, maybe we could write a triple signature message to invite other municipalities to do the same, or something like that. Do you think it will be doable?
Yeah. That could be very visual. Like in case you wanna go on this way and go on this way doing something visual that has a stronger impact, and it doesn't involve any kind of movement right now that we're all facing these very annoying times. So yeah, that could be kind of, I think, very powerful. And it's very easy to connect, as we did already, to connect other cities and to do something that it's visual.
Very good. Yes, thank you very much, Paolo, because I think this municipality thing is very important for our campaign.
Okay, any other, Henri and Luca?
So for the 12th, what you envision so far is like mobilizing as much as politics, mayors, to make a video of themselves and saying, I support, I want to celebrate Paris Agreement, and I'm signing the ICE. Is that you do, or is that plus like a kind of marathon like you did last time, or how does it work?
To be honest, I don't know what others think, but in my opinion, having one good video and the commitment to display that on the municipality, on their own social media channel, ideally at the same time, and potentially attaching it to what we were discussing with Paolo as greening the building of the municipality, will be probably more powerful than a panel or a marathon. Maybe we could have a sort of a a short kind of moment where super big stars speak together, we can present the initiative to journalists or something like that. But to be honest, I'm not sure another marathon or panel type of thing could work. Having said so, if maybe in France you see that there is enough people, these Giulia Innocenzi, French Giulia Innocenzi is available, like if you think there is a space for doing something big, I mean, no one will say no. But I think the first step is to make sure that the simplest thing happen, and maybe we have some big stars supporting immediately. That's my take, also trying to balance politics and practice.
Even a picture can be useful. I mean, if a mayor, even from a small town, take a picture of himself. Now we will see if Liketov accepts to do it a picture in the public square, because to have a picture in which you see the city in a way, you see the public square, and with the authorization to put the symbol of stopglobalwarming.eu on the picture is even enough. And then if there is a video also, it's even better.
Luca.
Oh yes, I have a question for Paolo, because I don't know if he answered the question about displaying on the public buildings, and he said just need to send a request to the municipality, but that request has to come from the citizens, or from a private citizen, or from the association itself.
Yeah. I think it should come from the association, because if we match things, so if we match the whole, let's say, event or a day dedicated to this activity, the association is supposed to send an email to the municipalities asking the mayor on one side to, for example, make a video with the logo, with the symbol of Stop Global Warming EU, together with the request for, I don't know, for example, displaying a sort of colored thing, or I don't know what the decision is about, but to do something like that in a building, in a public building. So we would do that, for example, in our municipality. This is what we usually do. We just use a projector and we project the image or whatever it is, or a color or a couple colors on the front door and the front, like the face of the building. And once again, we deal with it very easily.
I have a question for, since we are all in the call, guys, sorry, but at least we use the time wisely. Fabio Troiani, can you hear me?
Yes.
From a graphic perspective, if we think about the display thing on buildings, do we have specific format requirements, stuff that needs to be done?
Well, I'm not an expert on this issue. I think the logo that we already use for all other purposes, which is an RGB file, JPEG or PNG, is good for projecting. So I don't think we'll have to create more files other than the ones that we use on the web. But I'm not an expert about this, so I will check it.
Okay, it would be great if we can explore. If you know someone to check this out, so that we know. Because ideally, if we as Marco was saying, if we get the availability from Lichthoft, we can get the picture done and all the messaging crafted next week, and then we can all start to work on the specific request and get the availability and be ready as soon as possible, basically. Cool. Last round of thoughts.
Virginia,
No, feel free, please, Annie, please.
Oh, thank you. I just wanted to say, in some comuni, in some towns, like they have those panel things where they write stuff which changes like every day. And in where I live, that would almost be more useful if they write something like sign the petition, because not so many people are going into the main square now, whereas these panels are right where people drive past every day. It could be another thing that we could ask the mayors to do if necessary.
Just a little input, probably for Henry. I remember during World Environment Day, we had a lot of interactions on social media with local councillors from the Écolo Paris, especially in the 12th arrondissement. I tried to email them a couple of times, but they never replied to me. But maybe if you craft a nice email in French for them, maybe you could be more successful than I was.
Oui, ouais, tu peux. Écolo Paris.
Écolo Paris, 2e arrondissement. Deuxième ou
12e?
12e.
Okay. Yeah, I think it will help with the webinar too, because Ken is going to diffuse to the whole network. So if we can, there will be, the ELLV flag. So it's going to be easier to communicate once we have the webinar.
Yeah, right.
Okay, now that Avi joined us, we can close the meeting. I was joking, Avi. We were going toward the closure, but for those who don't know him, Avi is the director of communication of different stuff, among which stopglobalwarming.eu. Creative director, sorry.
Sorry for the delay. But we have time to think about the communications if a strategy is focused on Tuesday, maybe, or even tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe I can get this time, since you are here, to summarize what we said so far, so that we are all on the same page and it can start to boil in the brains. Basically, the idea is that Marco is gonna call Lichthoft, who nowadays you know who he is, to ask him to take this picture of himself alone in the square, representing like the urgency of acting on the Paris Agreement goals quickly and effectively through carbon pricing. And once he does the picture, which hopefully we'll accept to do, we are gonna use it for a call for all the political supporters, municipalities and regions, and whoever wants, to basically on the 12th of December to do two things. Should either take a picture of themselves with the same format or register a 1-minute video that ideally we can broadcast and ask them to broadcast at the same time at 7:26 p.m., which is the time of the Paris Agreement. And also Paolo Camassa, who is from the municipality of Palermo, was telling us that it's not difficult to ask municipalities to display the logo, to project the logo onto the building. So basically, with this simple request, the idea is at the exact time of the Paris Agreement to have blasting of videos from the different political supporters, potentially different municipalities displaying the video. And the more we have beforehand, the more we can give to the media as like, look, these are 100 videos of 100 mayors asking for carbon pricing in the EU at the same time, following the call of Mr. Lichthoft and the other Sassoli, the President of the European Parliament, and the others who already we have the availability from. In a nutshell, this is the concept. So at the same time, the same day, the same exact action.
And the goal is to be on the media the day after.
At the same time, to present a support, a public support, highly qualified to the proposal. So highly qualified, by highly qualified, I mean mayors, members of government, and so on.
And to present them it on the media, on our social.
I mean, let the people know that this proposal, that there is this proposal, and that this proposal is very highly supported.
Maybe if it's important to finish on the media, it could be or the day before, or the 7 in the morning. So if the media discuss between 9 and 10, I don't know, in Italy it seems at 10, we could have time to be considered for the day after. I will not say 7 o'clock in the morning the day before, because the media relations are not my hard skill, but I believe that 7 o'clock at the end of the 12 could be too late even for the day after. Another consideration that I would like not to say in another word is that the quality of the picture, if it's a great photo of a very old man at 7 o'clock in the morning, alone in a big square, but made by a great photographer, not because he's great, but because he's able to make a great picture, it can be a wonderful picture. If not, if it's a selfie, if it's a picture made by somebody not professional, it cannot give all the charisma and the importance. So I would like to say even a selfie, it would be wonderful. If it would be Greta, a selfie would be fine, or Leonardo DiCaprio. Considering this old man, the face and the name don't say a lot, the photo should be dramatic. And if we can, the best thing to do would be a great photographer will come to your place and find with you the best solution for make a picture that we hope will be showed in the all over media or European media, because there is a beautiful storytelling. The idea of the president at that time now is alone, still believing in this, in the middle of his city, asking attention and support on this initiative. But the picture should help him to, even if I don't know who is him, wow, beautiful picture, how sad this picture, or how touching. And I'm not sure that we can send to him a great photographer to do it. But that's the only, so that could possibly make a difference. Or yeah, I will not ask him to be naked or something else. More,
also because it's in Denmark, it might be cold even if there is global warming. I don't know.
No, you know how are the pictures made? Everybody makes picture of themselves in a square, and they can make also pictures in these days alone in a square. So even for I think the Italian media, well, just if the goal is to let people know through other media, we should give other media a content which is also capture the attention. I would like to read more, and then I say, wow, great man, great initiative, let's support him.
What about fake background? No, joking apart, like a nice, like I don't know, the Antarctic. Like we do the background and the picture.
Yeah, but
I don't know. Might be stupid, but not.
No, it could be also another solution, but still we should have to produce and make, and if it's on Photoshop, with the Photoshop, I don't know. It's no, I cannot say if it's done with Photoshop.
I mean, the idea is clear. Now we will try to organize ourselves to do it.
No, also the one of Virginia was nice. If it was a real landscape, to put the Arctic background in the city, but maybe it's not necessary. It's double. No, if it's just Photoshop, sorry if I repeat some daddy myself, but it's also to focus better on what I said for myself.
First of all, let's see if he's available, which is the key element, like turning point. What he thinks. Maybe he's a genius and he has an idea, or he has a glacier in his living room. I don't know.
Or he has a connection with a great photographer who would be glad to participate.
Now we will not speculate too much. I agree very much in the need of quality. If he agrees, but then first of all we have to obtain this availability. Dalai Lama also spoke, just spoke about climate change.
Oh, is it the same Dalai? I mean, it's always the same Dalai Lama, right? Like
Yes.
the Pannella Dalai Lama.
He's still alive, yes.
The next one will be a woman, I think he said. He will be a woman next life.
But to be honest, the Dalai Lama, maybe, I mean,
We
I don't
could
know.
write him a letter. The one for the Pope could be perfect also for him, apart the quote of Laudato Si. If we have the email address.
Okay, let's explore the Dalai Lama.
Or his WhatsApp.
Exactly. Okay.
Maybe Greta Thunberg will be the next Dalai Lama.
Who?
Sorry?
Greta?
Maybe Greta will be chosen as the next Dalai Lama.
First, she has to die. No, the Dalai Lama, the spirits will be always the same since centuries, but maybe you were finishing.
Okay. Maybe she's already incarnated. Okay. Cool. So for all of us who were in the meeting, we will send updates once Marco got news from Lichtoft, and we will prepare the material so that ideally before the mid of next week we are ready to at least start to engage. I mean, next week we are ready to start to engage people. But having said so, you have in the chat the supporting letter and the list of supporters. So, I mean, even without mentioning to specifically the 12th of December, we can still continue the effort of getting new supporters. Think about, as Henri is doing, like MEPs, influencers, people that you see that they're talking about climate. I mean, the strategy is always the same, to reach out to them and ask for support and ask them to communicate to their communities the initiative. This doesn't hurt the initiative at all. So,
sorry, we have also Oliviero Toscani, the photographer, that could be interested maybe, and he could travel for us to Copenhagen if can help.
yeah. Or the other guy, the New York Times photographer, what's the name? The one that gave the picture to the campaign, or maybe he's not. He's in New York.
Alessandro Grattani is more a reporter. Toscani could be, it's more advertising, focused on manage the situation. The other one is you are perfect like this. Okay. Toscani would make him undress probably.
And also Toscani is kind of known, I think he has a broader audience. In
yeah, exactly. It will help also the media coverage.
Okay, cool. We got the beginning of the plan.
Virginia, I have a question. If I understood you correctly, can we start reaching out to local representatives, officials, and
yes,
to promote the initiative? or should we wait until we get the okay from for the picture? And
so what it could be a good strategy, in my opinion, is if you want to start to list them and get the email addresses, so that when the letter is ready, it's just about sending it out. If you have someone that is very close to you, like, I don't know, local councillors or MPs or representatives of some organization, I think it's worth tomorrow to start to explore. Just so maybe you can use the template that I put here in the chat on the right side and start to explore the possibility. If you don't know them, but you just want to start to understand who they are, I suggest you start to map them out and get the contacts. And then once we're ready, we go directly with the official request, just to not waste the opportunity. But so these are the two ways.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
And if you are interested in other EU countries or like the will to search, I mean, of course, everything in Italy is helpful, but the more we go beyond the borders of Italy and into other states, like some countries where I think it's helpful are Malta, Ireland, and Luxembourg, and because it's more easy to collect the signatures there. But feel free to to write me an email if you have any idea, and we can see together. But to be honest, there are no borders.
What about Belgium?
Belgium as well. The easy country are Belgium.
Because the Minister of Ecology, yesterday she said she wants to make a carbon tax in Belgium.
Okay.
So maybe there's something to do. She's from the Green Belgium party. And of course, the other party are fighting her.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to try to send her the message since it's in French and you already have the material in French?
Yeah, I can try. I don't know if she's a French speaker, but.
Oh yes, let's check first. That they're very sensitive on this. So if you can check, let me know. Let me know exactly.
Maybe she's on the Dutch side.
Exactly. Let's not mess up centuries of mess. Okay.
How about Portugal?
I mean, it's not one of the easy countries, but it's still a country. So if you go on the supporters page on the website, you can already see also that some organizations and I mean, you can see the people that already support. It's always good to mention in the letter some references that can resonate with your audience. So I don't know, if you're reaching out to Portuguese, you can say already these organizations, or always mention the top guys like commissioners, ministers, or things like that. Perfect. 2 minutes to 7, we can call the meeting off. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. And
Everyone.
just one more thing, in case we all need a few other names or a few other contacts, the mayor of Palermo is always at your disposal for this initiative, all right?
Thank you, Paolo. Maybe I will give you a call so we can speak a bit about the best strategy to do this as well.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, a question. The minister, the Danish minister, it's a sandwich man or it's with a laptop? How can he show the logo?
The idea was more a laptop or tablet with the logo, which evokes the idea of the digital signature.
And of course, I can add our logo with Photoshop on his laptop.
Cool.
Okay, I'll tell him. Ciao.
Ciao a tutti. Good evening. Ciao,
Ciao a
ciao.
tutti. Ciao.
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 Ciao Luca.
Ciao. Ciao Paolo.